Hi there, today I'm going to walk you through how to integrate Slack with Marketo. Since you're watching this video, I'm guessing you already know why you'd want to do such a thing, but just in case you might be wondering why you'd want to do something like this, it's because every company nowadays uses Slack as an internal communication tool, and people basically live out of Slack and they disregard their email inbox. So if you want your sales or marketing teams to follow up with people in a timely fashion, it's best to send the notifications to Slack so they'll act on them as soon as possible. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to follow this link here, and I'll put a link to this blog post in the description of the video, but we're going to follow this link to the Slack API Center, and we're going to create an app to integrate with Marketo. We're going to click from scratch. We're going to call it Marketo, and I'm going to set it up here for my internal Workflow Pro Slack community. You choose your company's one or your personal one, whichever one you use. I'm going to go create app. And then down the bottom, you can either select incoming webhooks here, or you can always select it from this left-hand navigation tree under features. So let's click incoming webhooks. We're waiting for this toggle button. Once it's loaded, click on, and then we're going to add a new webhook to the workspace. And here you can either choose the channel that you want to send the message to, or you can directly message people as well. So here I'm just going to, the best thing to do when you're testing, first of all, is to always send it to yourself. So I'm going to send it to myself first. And later on, when you come back, once you've tested this webhook and you then want to roll it out to more channels or more people, you can always repeat this process to keep adding new webhooks to your workspace. So remember this URL, we're going to need it later on in Marketo. So copy it, and then let's dive into Marketo here. We're going to go to the admin section. We're going to go to webhooks. We're going to go new webhook. You can call it whatever you want. Slack integration. Put in an optional description for the URL. I'm going to paste in the URL I copied from the Slack app. Leave the request type as post. For the template, you can use a dummy template. You'll obviously populate this template with the information you want to send to Slack, but for now I'm just going to copy this example template. So let's paste this in here, and you'll notice the presence of lead tokens and company tokens in here as well. So there's a company token. You can pull these in using the insert token button. Set request token encoding as none and set response type as none, and then hit create. I'm not going to hit create here because I already have quite a few Slack webhooks. So you'll notice here that you'll need to set up a Slack webhook for every channel or every individual that you want to send to, because it's a one-to-one mapping between each webhook and a destination. So for each channel, you'll require one webhook. So let's take a look at a sample message output. As I mentioned, we pull in lead and company tokens to populate the body of this message. And these would typically be tokens that are associated with a certain event, like a form fill. And I'll walk through that a little bit later on. But one cool thing is, if you look down the bottom here, we've got a lead link Marketo and a lead link Salesforce, where we pull in the Marketo lead ID into the URL path, or we pull in the Salesforce ID into the URL path. And what this allows us to do is to create links to the Marketo profile and the Salesforce profile, so that it's very easy for our sales or marketing team to just click these links and go straight to Salesforce or Marketo. So I'll show you an example of that now. So here's an example of our Slack channel. This was sent by our Marketo app. If I open this and I open this, this will lead to the person's Marketo record, and then this will lead to the person's Salesforce record. So it's very easy for a sales or marketing person to If it's a salesperson, they can either follow up with them via email or phone from Salesforce, or if they're a marketing person and they're wondering which channel brought this person into your company, they're looking for attribution, they can easily find that using the person's Marketo record. So that's a very cool feature here. And now we get on to how do we actually call this webhook. So this is a very simple smart campaign where it just fills out form. It's a contact sales form. And then we're going to call the webhook that we created earlier on in this lesson. And all these lead tokens, let's go back here for a second. All these lead tokens are available after that form fill event. So I know once someone submitted the contact sales form, we'll have all these lead tokens and company tokens available to populate the message. So just be aware that when you're creating a flow to send a notification from Marketo to Slack, make sure that the tokens you're bringing in are actually available to send in the webhook when the webhook is requested. So these are the steps you need to, first of all, create your Slack app, create a webhook in Marketo to send to Slack, and then finally call the webhook from a smart campaign flow. So now that you're comfortable setting up webhooks within Marketo, you can unlock a whole range of different use cases using webhooks. I've linked to some of them down here below. For example, if you want to integrate to Zapier and use all its automation capabilities and all its third-party integrations, then you can take a look at this post and how you can do that using webhooks from Marketo. Similarly, you can use webhooks to send SMS to your customers and even build a two-way SMS bot using Zapier. You can route leads in Salesforce using Chili Piper. And then there's other upcoming posts I have in mind, like how you can compute formulae. So for example, you'll submit field values in the formula and it'll store the output in another field. And then you can also enrich leads using Clearbit and Crunchbase as well. So I've got these posts planned. So head on over to the blog here and you can follow these links. And if you want to know when these upcoming posts launch, then you can subscribe to the blog using this button here at the top of the page. All right, I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it's helpful. If you have any comments or questions, please comment in the video here or feel free to comment on the blog and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.